So today we have Kamil Szymanski with us to tell us all about SQT in his clinic. So very welcome. Glad to have you here with us today.
Thanks so much for having me.
So tell us, Kamil, when you started with SQT, how you decided on SQT as the brand for your clinic.
So I started with SQT about 2 years ago. So I was probably one of the first clinics in Ireland to introduce it. I was looking for an alternative for classic microneedling treatments. I never found classic pen needling super effective. It's slow, traumatic, and causes a lot of downtime. And I was looking for an alternative that I can offer my clients that would be of a better quality, shorter downtime, and save on darker skin tones. And I came across that organic, natural microneedling without needles. And that really fascinated me. So I started researching about the brand, about the way the system works. And I was quite fascinated. And I was like, okay, listen, let me try it. Because scientifically, it looks very promising. And I wasn't wrong. The science is there, the results are there, and it basically delivers.
Brilliant. And yeah, I remember the first time you contacted me, you're like, I want to do this. You know, there was I didn't need to explain anything or even ask you. You were just, I want on board now. So I remember that as well. And also, like, you have a much more scientific background when it comes to ingredients and the science of beauty and all of that. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So my background would be in biomedical research, so genetics and physiology. And I feel like that allows me to really pick the treatments for my clinic that are really science-based rather than, following the trends or gimmicks that we have a lot of in our industry. And I can safely say that SQT is results-driven and science-driven. I've seen it on paper and on the results of my clients.
So Kamil, tell us a little bit more about your clinic, what treatments you offer, and also why you decided to bring in SQT into your clinic.
So my clinic is based in Carlow. I mostly offer high-energy devices, injectables, so basically laser, skincare, and aesthetics. Now, there is a lot of energy devices out there, and not everyone is a suitable candidate for let's say radiofrequency microneedling or even traditional microneedling. So I was looking for something gentler, yet something that will deliver the results. And I stumbled across bio-microneedling, and it really sparked my attention. So as I was doing my research, I realized that it has so many advantages over traditional pen microneedling. And when I tried it, I wasn't wrong. I love the fact that we can schedule the treatments every 2 weeks and complete an entire course of treatments in 2 months. That means that between now and 2 months, you're going to have a completely new skin. Now, I keep referring to traditional microneedling because biomicroneedling can be compared to it. When I was looking at my research, I was looking for something that I could safely use on darker skin tones. So part of my clientele would be, let's say, Indian or Asian. So as you know, with darker skin tones, we have to be very mindful of post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. And microneedling can cause that, right? With biomicroneedling, there's no risk of PIH. There is no risk of infections because we're not going as deep as the blood vessels. It has so many advantages over traditional microneedling that it really nicely filled a gap in the portfolio of my clinic.
Yeah. And also, how do you find that price-wise, how does that affect versus your other treatments that you offer as well for your clients?
So I have to say that biomicroneedling is definitely a lot more cost-effective than, let's say, radiofrequency microneedling, and comparable to your classic microneedling. Now, that's to compare cost per treatment. With traditional microneedling, you're looking at 4 to 6 treatments dependently on the device that you're using. With SQT, it's 3 to 4 treatments. So at the end of the day, my clients do spend less on a course of treatment than with classic microneedling, yet they get results a lot faster, and the results are much, much better.
So Kamil, you are known for investing in a lot of technology, high-end lasers in Ireland, a lot of times being the first clinic in Ireland to bring something in here as well. So how would you find that compare with SQT, and as well on how that fits in with your clients' profiles?
Mm-hmm. So I think both SQT and all my energy devices are high-end treatments. I focus on high-end treatments because the clientele that comes into my clinic expect the results. Now, I have people with different budgets. So with SQT, it's quite accessible to everyone. So they can still get resurfacing or treatment of pigmentation, rejuvenation, and a lot of other things at a fraction of a price of a laser. But I think there's space for both energy devices and SQT Bio-Microneedling, because not everything can be done with SQT. So for example, if we want to tighten and lift, we would do RF microneedling. So pretty high energy treatment. We stimulate the dermis of the skin or create trauma in the dermis. SQT works a bit differently. It's a lot gentler with a lot less downtime, and it's suitable for more skin types as well. So SQT would affect the epidermis mostly. So scientifically, the way it works, we create microtrauma in the skin. In the epidermis of the skin, the specules from the biomicroneedling are going to go as deep as basal layer of the epidermis. And that microtrauma in the epidermis is going to release a wave of cytokines that are going to travel deeper into the dermis and activate fibroblasts to produce collagen and increase skin cell turnover and things like that. So so very different treatments, both equally effective for different things. So I wouldn't discriminate one from the other, because I think both, let's say, microneedling treatments are very valid.
So basically there is a space for everything in the industry, and also a client who has a preference for every specific thing as well.
Yeah, I guess so. So again, I you know that I love my SQT for melasma patients, and I haven't found a laser that would be so safe as SQT to treat melasma. Yes, it might take us a little bit longer, but if someone is prone to hyperpigmentation and quite sensitive, it's a lot better to start them off with SQT than with a laser. That's because melasma can be induced by the heat, by the trauma, and tons of other things. And all of those, like, we don't get them with SQT. It's a micro trauma. It's a really delicate treatment. So even though we are creating those microchannels, we're not creating bleeding or excessive inflammation in the skin. So it is very, very safe, especially for those clients with darker skin tones.
And also the spicules are much smaller as well than your traditional needling needle size as well. So the puncture wounds are also much smaller, right?
When you look at conventional needling with pens, the needles are 0.2 mil in diameter. The specules that we're using are so microscopic, you actually have to use microscope to see them. With a naked eye, they look like white powder, you know? So the microchannels that we are creating are much smaller. That means faster recovery, less trauma to the skin.
What results do you see with SQT within your clinic?
Right,
So you were talking about the acne and why it's better, and it can be done on active acne because it kills the bacteria and all of that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the results are phenomenal. Again, when we're dealing with hormonal acne, it's normal that we're not going to change someone's hormones. Okay. but we can improve the way skin reacts to those hormones. So, for example, resurfacing set is great for that. I would use a lot of SQT resurfacing for my hormonal acne clients because it allows them to live a relatively normal life without being all in almost blisters, you know. And then with melasma or pigmentation, it's just amazing, you know. Like, people love the treatment. They come back for the treatments because they see an improvement in their skin after session number 1, which is unheard of with classic microneedling, you know. I've heard stories where clinics are doing 4 or 6 sessions of classic microneedling, and their clients or patients are like, okay, and when will I see the results? Whereas with SQT, you do a treatment, there is a very short recovery time. In a week, you see an improvement in the skin. It is incredible. It was a no-brainer for me when I tried it. I was like, okay, that was what my clinic needed, you know. So my clinic would be based in Carlow. There's not too many clinics around that would offer high-end treatments. So I'm very, very happy that I took SQT on.
And also coming back to hormonal acne and all of that, and then the pigmentation. So I find that in the beauty industry, you know, as therapists, we are treating the symptom normally as well sometimes of what's going on deeper inside the body. And I think what's very important in the industry, you know, especially right now, is to also educate our clients about why they are seeing these, you know, these things coming up in the skin, and also to kind of work together with them and their efforts at home for us and them to combine, to combine the professional and the home care efforts of the client so that we can get to those results together. So I think, what do you think about the education of the clients and giving them all that information as well on how that actually betters the complete outcome?
Absolutely. Do you know, like, I always start with a consultation when someone walks in through my door. And it is so important that they understand what is happening on molecular level so that they can comprehend what needs to happen on their skincare journey, whether it's in clinic or at home, for me to get them therapeutic effect that they're looking for. And again, SQT is great at that. So when we look at active acne, the basis of active acne would be what? Overactive sebaceous glands. So a lot of oil being produced, excessive keratinization, so buildup of keratinocytes, and SQT can fix that. Also, the inflammation in the skin. We are increasing the skin cell turnover with SQT so that keratinocytes can fly away. We are introducing active ingredients that reduce inflammation and suppress the sebaceous activity. So everything that active acne needs. So post-treatment skincare is super simple. Straight after the treatment, what you need to do is keep the face clean, basically. Apply SPF 48 hours after, because again, for the first 48 hours, I would not recommend applying anything. The microchannels are open, the needles are in. So we only want you to apply active substances that's supposed to penetrate through those microchannels, nothing apart from that. And then once we clear the skin with a course of SQT treatments, again, the skincare regimen will be very client dependent. So I love salicylic acid cleansers for acne prone skin because we need to clean the pores. We need to suppress the sebaceous activity. I love retinoids for that as well. So most of my active acne clients would do SQT, and then they're going to be on a retinoid and salicylic acid cleanser with some very lightweight barrier protecting product.
In your research on SQT's freshwater sponge spicules, and we also see a lot of other brands coming out in the industry now, basically containing marine spicules. In your research and in your expertise, what did you find is the difference between the two?
So do you know what? The freshwater sponge spicules are definitely safer. Now, there's a lot of allergies to marine collagen, marine products or byproducts. It's not something that I would like to be applying on my client's skin. So freshwater sponge spicules, which SQT is based on, are a lot better in my opinion. Also, the specule size is quite uniform. So the way SQT developed their specules is quite neat. So they're going to give you specules that are all intact, because we've seen specules before where they're broken, that means non-effective, yet they're still in your product. SQT now provides you with specules that are 99.9% of a purity. They're all the same length, which means that they're a lot more comfortable to your clients as well. So yeah, for me, it's a no-brainer to choose freshwater sponge specules rather than marine-based specules. Again, allergies are more and more common, especially these days. And we could go into it a lot more. What is it from? And there's a lot of opinions around vaccinations, whether you're pro or against, and how does that affect your immune response. But yeah, to keep things safe and as safe as possible for our clients, freshwater sponge specules are the way to go.
Yeah. We've also seen lately as well is that people who've had treatments done before and suddenly they get the same treatment done that they had many times before, and their body just has this massive cytokine storm and they have this absolute crazy inflammation response that then leads to secondary other infections as well, not initially caused by the treatment. So we've seen this happen to lash industry, nail industry as well. And, we are starting to see it in skin industry too. We've even noticed that, even doctors are saying Botox is not lasting in client skin as long as it used to before as well, because the body is recognizing this inflammation response and it's actually due to that starting to metabolize it much faster as well. So we are seeing obviously a lot of increase in that in the beauty industry too, not just with conventional skin treatments, but in the aesthetic side of beauty as well, and even in the basic beauty side. So yeah.
Yeah, so listen, whenever we inject something into your body or whatever you get a medical treatment, it does in a lot of cases affect your immune system, which might mean that it works on an overdrive. So then whatever you apply to your skin or inject or microneedle, it can trigger a response that normally you wouldn't get. Again, this is something that we have to deal with as professionals, and I think either the beauty or medical training allows you to do that safely. We're very fortunate to live and work in a country that's relatively well regulated, and I have to say that professionals in Ireland are very well educated how to deal with those basic complications.
Because after all, these specules are physically penetrating our skin, so basically going inside. And I think that's also very important. People need to remember that it's just not throwing anything on your skin. Like, you wouldn't just eat and drink anything. So why would you let just anything or any fly-by-night brand penetrate your skin?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's so important that everyone does their own research, and once they do, they will understand that. I think SQT has dedicated over a decade for research and development to produce the product that's safe, regulated, and effective.
Yeah, but also because the owner, Henry Quinn, he used to obviously research on university level special ingredients and perfect them for beauty industry as well. And what's very interesting is also because he's also got a more science background like you do, he found actually specules was used since the 1800s in beauty treatments, so it's not completely new, but he stumbled upon it first again, and then he perfected the extraction and the hydrolyzing method of it, and that's when SQT obviously came to existence. But yeah, it's almost 12 years now of continuous research and development. So of course we're very proud with that as well. So yeah.
I'm super happy to be on board with SQT. There's a new product coming out very soon, so I cannot wait to get my hands on it because it's something that was missing from the portfolio, which is already quite broad, right? Because we have so many different sets with so many different ingredients that we can apply to different skin pathologies. But this one is something that is going to change the game.
Yeah, definitely. So, Kamal, compared to other companies and other trainings and modules that you've done before, how would you compare that to the SQT training as well as the post-training support?
You know what? I have to say that you in particular excel in that field, because like when I first contacted you, the training was organized within a week. I had immediate access to online modules. I read everything I supposed to read. Then you came to the clinic. You taught me how to perform the treatment, taught me all the do's and don'ts, and then you were always on the phone if help was needed. I was like, does this woman even sleep at night? Like, when do you find time to be so attentive? And it's not just me, because I've spoken to other clinics that would have SQT in their offer, and they all say the same thing. The support is incredible. And you have so much experience in the beauty field, and managerial as well. So you're always willing to help when it comes to not just treatments, but business advice, handling people and things like that. I know that you've worked on ships, managing massive teams. So I always like to pick your brain about bits when I can. So I have to say that you are very attentive. And SQT as a brand is like, I don't know how you do it as a one person to respond to all of the queries that you must be getting every single day. So yeah, I would definitely recommend SQT when it comes to that. Yeah.
So just lastly, what would you say if there's any clinic owners that's on the fence between SQT and other brands? What would you say to them today?
Well, obviously, just try it, because you are missing out. I think biomicroneedling is going to phase out traditional microneedling treatments. At least that was the case in my clinic. I literally phased out 90% of my microneedling treatments just to do SQT biomicroneedling. The results are faster, the results are better, and the treatment is safer. Obviously, there are still treatments that I would do with microneedling, like traditional microneedling with exosomes or radiofrequency microneedling. But those are very different to what SQT biomicroneedling is about. So if you are a business owner who wants an innovative treatment that's safe, that's easy to delegate to your staff, I would definitely contact SQT Ireland for a training or a demo. Do the treatment yourself, see how effective it is, see how fast it works, and then you'll have no doubts. I'm super happy to be on board with SQT. There's a new product coming out very soon, so I cannot wait to get my hands on it, because it's something that was missing from the portfolio, which is already quite broad, right? Because we have so many different sets with so many different ingredients that we can apply to different skin pathologies. But this one is something that is going to change the game.
Yeah, definitely.